Just to hear you running up the hill and squishing Ryan's toes, and then out in a sled hockey, breaking your finger. You're still living life. Wow, we would have never believed this. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple, we're on Google. Go out there and listen to us. So we're excited about it. We're glad you're excited about it too. Muscles Matter. Thank you for tuning in. I'm here with my friend and a host, Steve Southers. He's out there. If you need some information, I'm telling you will not go wrong with Steve. Tell him when you're out, brother.
We're located at 7420 District Boulevard, right across the street from Nestle. Hope to see you soon.
Yeah. Think the opposite of ice cream and you're going to his store.
Well, no, they have ice cream flavored protein now.
Oh.
They're very good.
Does it work?
Yeah, I eat food.
So Wesley, we have Wesley, and how do you pronounce your last name? Because I get it wrong.
Barrientos.
Okay.
You're going to mess up anyway.
That's why I get it wrong. And so we're here today, and Wesley's been on lunch break, and he's also been on a couple of veteran shows for us. And Wesley's kind of well known in Bakersfield. I think you were the poster child for the Wounded Heroes program here in town for a while. They have your first prosthetic foot in a case down there. Wendy does over there. She always says hi when I see her once a month. So glad to have you back, Wesley.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's a great honor to be here around so much muscle.
Well, don't look my way. Don't look my way because my muscle slipped off somehow.
Oh, no. I see those arms are starting to take shape again.
Yeah, I see the veins popping.
Well, Steve, I give Steve credit for that. And, my old age, I've just turned 65, so I've been a decade within a senior citizen status, but I still refuse to take the discounts. So my daughters don't. They like 3 adults and 1 senior citizen. They shout that loud and proud. I think it saves them $3 or something when they take me someplace. So we're glad you come in today. And Steve, one of the things that I think is special about Wesley, and I think a lot of people who know Wesley, is he doesn't know any boundaries. He got a shirt on that says Savage, the Battle Bros. Adrian Monhay is probably leads the group, and Wesley's been part of that veterans group since I think the conception of it, haven't you?
Yes, sir. Started the group back in September of 2021. The veterans group, at least.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And you guys are there every Monday night, and give the address for us.
Yeah, we're there at every Monday night at 6 p.m. at the Stockton Village Starbucks. We kindly named it the Machete Starbucks.
Yeah, because a few years ago they had a guy come into the store with machete.
Yes, sir, and he caused a little problem there.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
With a store full of veterans, huh?
Well, no,
they weren't there at the time.
Oh, I was going to say, wow, that sounds like a bad day.
No, but there was a hero in there. He stepped in and saved the day for a lot of people there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Wesley, you're here because I know you've always, things that you do include fitness, what you've come through with your trauma, but you're doing something new.
Yes, sir.
I caught it on social media, and you're running.
Yes, sir.
What brought you to this place to said, hey, I'm going to sport a pair of blades? Because that's an apparatus you have to have, right?
Yes, sir.
If I'm saying the wrong words, Mike's going to correct me, so you might as well.
No, you're absolutely right. Yeah, I have them right here. As you can see, this is my left one, and the other one's right there. Absolutely. They're extremely light and very with a lot of energy return, so they help me run and go fast.
I like
Yes,
that.
sir.
I like that. So what was Wesley thinking? Did God invade your consciousness and say, I want to add something? How did this work out? I mean, tell Steve and I how running started to come in your life, because this is a very foreign topic for Steve and I.
Yeah.
Last week we had Dave Sands over, who used to be a marathoner and has switched over to the iron side. And but this isn't something that you're going to catch Steve doing, running in any fashion, gym or road work. So
I'm interested in the legs, so maybe they'll help me run.
He heard return of energy.
Yeah.
I know.
Less impact.
Less impact, energy return. Yeah, it's great.
So tell us how you got into this.
So a little over a year ago in December of, I wouldn't say 2020, 2021, I believe, I went to a doctor, normal checkup, and they drew some blood, and came out that I was in the beginning stages of diabetes. So very low, but I had diabetes. So my whole family has it. So it wasn't like a shocker, you know, but it did set me back. It made me think like, well, I have been indulging for the last couple of years, and this is
What does
the
that
result.
mean? You eating more?
Eating a lot more. So I
Those
gained,
are cheat days, Steve.
I gained so much weight. You know, I was, 5 years ago I was at like 180, and then I ballooned up to like 220, and so I gained a lot of weight, a lot of fat, and I was not eating anything right. So I was a lot of sweets, basically anything I wanted. No limitations.
No self-control.
No self-control. Yeah, I did that for about 2 years, and then the result of that was a diagnosis of diabetes.
Kind of a wake-up call.
Yeah.
Steve, how many people do you see that have wake-up calls? That come into the store ready to throw out all the sugar, want your advice, and want to work out?
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, a lot. Yes. I'm just, yes.
Every day, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can give me the magic pill.
I wouldn't be here right now. As much as I love you guys, it'd be in a nice little foreign country at my own island.
I know. Yeah. So you got the wake-up call.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And realized that I had a young baby at home, and a wife and other older kids, but also kids that I want to see and I want to be there for their special days. And I was like, well, what am I going to do? Like, what am I doing right now, and what am I going to do to fix this? And my doctor says it's really hard, but you can overturn this. You can beat diabetes, and but it's gonna take a lot of discipline, a lot of work, and if not a lot of people are willing to do it.
Isn't that amazing? Did that catch you off guard that a lot of people aren't willing to do it?
Oh, absolutely. When the other option was, here's a pill that can help you. That to me, I was like, no. Yeah. I'd rather do the work first. So that was, to me, that was the wake up call. That was like the kick in the kidneys, get up there, and do something.
Steve and I call it the derriere, or the glutes. Is that a good word?
Gluteus maximus. Yes,
Yep.
that's the big word.
Yep. So so I started doing small things at first. Got a gym membership, and I was very not so into it at first. I was very inconsistent, to say the least. But I was doing something that I wasn't doing before. So I started doing that. I started changing my diet. I began a meal plan, and
all on your own.
all on my own. Okay. Yes, sir. And
how many times do people really do this, Steve? You're the expert here, because people come into you and talk to you, and you give them advice. How many people really take it?
I've told you I have a huge amount of shoes, right?
Yes.
Huge amount of shoes, and every shoe represents a meal plan.
Yeah.
Huge amount. Now ask me how many.
You gave away 100 pair.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and so it happens quite often, but very few follow-throughs.
Yeah.
It's like bowling. If you don't follow through, the ball goes in the gutter.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Hear that, Mike Harvey? Okay. I just wanted to. It's the gutter ball.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So one of the things that happens is too that I've noticed is that a lot of people get discouraged when they feel pain, or when they feel any resistance, like
That's life, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. That's how it's supposed to be. And for me, some people call me dumb or something, but other kind of words. But I enjoy that pain. I enjoy that resistance. And for a couple years, I just I gave up on a lot of things, and this is like, okay, this is my wake up call. I have to return to what I've been my whole life. And I was like, so I got back in there. I started enjoying the pain that I got from working out.
He has iron poisoning.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a diagnosis.
Yes, I'm listening to it. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
we'll
he's been
diagnose
bit.
you right now.
Yeah.
You're enjoying the pain
Yes.
of lifting weights.
Yes, I enjoy that pain, and it just became weird, and all of a sudden in September of last year, I decided, you know what, I'm going to get running legs, and I'm going to run again. And I ran before when I first got wounded. I started running 6 months later, and I had my old running legs, so I went to try those on. Those didn't work. They're not that great anymore.
Was it technology? Explain to us that part.
Yeah, so technology has changed so much in the past 10 years, especially prosthetic wise. I mean, the world of prosthetics is just been revolutionized by war. War has completely changed the way we see prosthetics and the way we see amputees, because, normally we would see amputees, 50s, 60s, diabetes or accidents, So really old people, they really were not very active. The war turned out that we have a lot of young fellas with severe injuries. They still want to live an active life. So the prosthetic companies got to work and started developing really cool stuff in the last in the last few years. It's just been incredible the amount of technology that's come out to help us live that life better. So
you got new running.
Yes, sir. So I went in there and I told them I want running legs, and they were like, "For you," they know me so much in there. I've caused problems before. I caused good problems. They like to call me good problems.
Really?
Yeah.
Like how?
So about 3 years ago, I went in there and I said, "Hey, I came in here for a simple fix. All I wanted was a new socket and new this, and I respect you guys, but you guys completely failed on that task." And they said, "Well, we're just gonna move you to a place." This is in the VA in West LA, and shout out to Dr. Miranda there and Jared. They're great people. And Dr. Miranda said, "We're just gonna move you to somewhere closer to Bakersfield, somewhere that's home, and they can take care of your problems, And I said, "No." They looked at me, no. You're gonna fix my problems. You're gonna get better. I'm gonna get better, and we're all gonna get better because of this.
Ooh, I like that.
And they were like,
you had a bigger perspective than just fixing it for you.
yeah, absolutely. And there have been so many complaints about that department for so long. They was like, "No, we're gonna get better. Like, it's no more pushing me off. I'm not their problem. I'm your problem." And Dr. Miranda looked at me like, "You're not no, I am a problem, and I enjoy being a problem." And he's like,
A
"Okay,
good problem. I
yeah,
like
it's a good
that,
problem."
Wesley.
Yeah, and he said, "You're a good problem." And yeah, so they got rid of some people and they brought in some new blood, and they've been amazing since. So this year when I went there for my annual checkup, they do an annual checkup around birthdays, and they were like, "So what are your goals?" "I want to run." And so we started working on that, and they were worried about my bones snapping or my hips popping out from all the energy return. So I began doing more work towards strengthening those zones, so that didn't happen, to avoid a serious injury.
Did they help you with the workouts, or did they leave you on your own for that?
They just no.
Well, I can introduce you to somebody that can help you with that, and that's the guy sitting in the chair next to you. Yeah, Steve.
You see the wheels are spinning.
I know,
huh?
I know.
It's very. I'm like, okay. I'm seeing where this is going.
He's figuring out problems as we're sitting here. No, seriously, this is
Good problem.
This is how it works sometimes. Is just this, and you've got a resource now that that there isn't anybody better in town than that man sitting right there to help you with any re-strengthening exercises, and I bet you would like to challenge with angles and things.
I even have a co-partner that would jump in and have fun with it, Evan.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Evan's a VBFer.
Okay.
He goes to the Northwest campus, yeah. And so,
All right.
That's a double brainstorm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So we're gonna follow up with
I
this.
think I know Evan. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Big Evan. Yeah.
Yeah, Big Evan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Evan, we need you on the show. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah. That's your job, Steve. So keep going with your story.
Oh no, well that's pretty much it. And they whatever my request was, usually whatever I request, they try to help me the best they can. So they left me alone. They didn't intervene in anything. And when it came down to receiving my legs, they were hesitant to let me run on it because I never done it before. I'm like, I can do this. Just make him right. I can do this.
How do you start if they're afraid you've never done it before? I lost the connection,
Yeah,
So they didn't want you to do it because they thought you might do it wrong.
Yes.
But they still gave you the legs.
No, they were building the legs, but they wanted me to go through therapy and all kinds of things. So before they could actually put me in the legs.
Okay.
And I was like, no, that's not how it works. It's not. We're not gonna do that.
You're a lab rat.
Yeah.
Steve, that makes sense to you.
Yes,
and I, right?
like I said, I'm curious.
Yeah. So immediately they were like, well, gotta no. Let's the only way to know if it works is if we can actually do it. So we got on. They have a track outside the clinic there in West LA, and just started doing a couple laps around it, and they were like, well, like, look, I've done it before, and I told them, like, I've done it before in prosthetics. Just this is new technology. I haven't done it in 12 years. But it's still, I can still do it. I'm still who I am. I still have the knowledge of the way it works.
You're willing to take the risk. You had to have them take the risk.
Yeah, and that's what they were not willing to do. They were not willing to take the risk. So I had to completely absorb that risk and be like, this is not on you. This is on me.
Where do I have to sign?
So your first running legs, they were not this design then?
They were similar to this design. I mean, they had the
spring?
The spring feet, and but the knee was not that great. The springs were not very good either. It was very off balance and very tiptoeing. This is a more balanced. This is more like compared the other ones to walking on the tips of your toes.
Yes.
And this one's walking on the ball of your feet. Like
okay, so they've come a long way since the Cat Williams jokes.
Yeah, no, absolutely,
okay.
yeah. So this one's I don't know if you're able to see this, but like this portion right here is very big in comparison. So this is what I'm doing, and this is the motion of it. So and before it would just be like the tip of this.
Yeah, I saw the ones that the young man ran at the Olympics on them.
Yeah, yes, absolutely, yeah.
The Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Oscar Pistorius, when he did that, yeah. So
they were worried that there was too much energy return.
Too much energy return, yes.
This the whole setup. It's got my curiosity on the run. I mean, what does that explain? Like, how does it feel? What is the motion like?
So it's more like bouncing on your toes. So you're bouncing on your toes, and once you get your stride going, there's no you got for this one that I don't have my own knee on it. I have to know that at any moment that knee could give out, and there could be, if I don't fully extend it, if I take a lazy stride.
I was just say, so every stride has to be perfect.
Yes, every stride has to be perfect, has to meet that line and that threshold. And if I take a lazy stride, then that knee's not going to fully extend, and that means it's going to collapse on me as I'm trying to use it to go forward. So that's one of the things I got to stay focused. And the other thing that helps me a lot is the running, the motion of the arms. So I got to have full motion of the arms. So almost like a sprinting motion is the entire time. And that helps me with the motion of the legs.
That's interesting, Steve, because I think that motion or that technique probably is lost in a lot of people who have both of their legs.
Yeah, I see it a lot. You see people that run and the arms are what breaks the wind and causes it's the counterbalance to allow you to stride.
And so you're saying that that's a huge important part, and as you're doing it, it goes back to technique.
Yes, absolutely. It's that technique, So once you have that technique, and it's the brain correlation between your muscle and your brain. So it's correlating. So you're getting that stride, and if you see this, that means that this is going. So it kind of like helps your brain correlate your steps with it.
So have you had any mishaps?
Yes, absolutely. Oh, poor Ryan. So on
who's Ryan?
Ryan, Stander Up.
Okay, yeah, I know Ryan. Yeah.
Yeah. So I crushed his toes. It was
Ryan.
I felt so bad for him, but in the same way, so we went on a run. He out of nowhere.
He just did a marathon. Him and Adrian.
Yeah, they did did an Ironman.
Yeah.
So it was pretty crazy. So the week after they did the Ironman, he calls me. He's like, "Hey man, when are you running again?" I'm like, "Tomorrow." He's like, "Can I run with you?" I'm like, "Absolutely, man. I'm gonna do a mile." And I went to the Kaiser Permanente Park, or I don't know what it's called now, but it's on McKee and Ash. And he met me over there. Adrian showed up, and another friend, Anthony Herrera. So
all good brothers.
Yeah, all
Battle
Bros.
brothers.
Yeah. So we all went on this run, and we're going, and we come over this little part, and there's a little step, that's a little off. And like, should we slow down? And I'm like, I kind of didn't pay too much importance to it. I'm like, I let me go through it, let me see if I can figure it out. And of course I did it, and I tripped over it, and I go down, and Ryan tried to catch me or something, and I just crushed his toes. I'm like, oh, buddy. I felt so bad. I felt so bad for him. But, yeah, so I felt pretty hard on that one, like, not for me. I mean, like, I'm able to absorb it. I know how to fall. But, yeah, for Ryan, yeah, it was pretty hard. I crushed his toes.
You know what's so cool is you got a great group of guys around you.
Absolutely.
That would say, hey, when are you going to run a mile? You never call me, Steve, and ask me when I'm going to run a mile.
You know it wasn't me on the phone. Somebody's taking over.
So it's cool because that's a great group. Adrian and Ryan and Anthony, just a great group that are there to help you reach a goal.
Yes. Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's one of the things, too, that they were like, whoa, what is your goal? And I'm like, whoa, I want to start by running a 5K, right? So I have
getting ready to ask you when's the marathon. That was my question.
Right? So I have a 5K. I'm signed up for a 5K at the end of this month. I think it's the last weekend of April, down in Oxnard area, Channel Islands.
Will you send us some film of that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm registered to do that. But so I told Ryan, that's my goal. I want to start running a 5K and see where it takes from there.
Is it important for you to have goals? Because Steve, you and I both know, we've talked about it, to have goals.
Yes.
And your first goal was get your legs. You had to be persistent. And then it was going out there, finding out about the knee, taking a tumble. So do you find out in Wesley's life it's good to set a goal?
No, absolutely. I think goals are pivotal to achieving your success and the results that you're looking for. The way I see goals, I love one of the coaches. I don't love the team, but Nick, what is his name? Saban. Yes, from Alabama. Yeah, so he has
Roll Tide.
Yeah, so he has this great thing that he talks about goals and results. He's like, a lot of people confuse goals for their results. A lot of people say, I want to lose 20 pounds. Like, no, that should be your result. Like the goals should be what is going to get you to that result. Mm-hmm. And he was giving a speech at our company, the company I work for, and he was like, if you want to sell $2 million this year, right? That's not your goal. That is the result you want to achieve. What is the goal that is going to get you there? Well, how many goals do you have to set up? So ever since he said that, he revolutionized my mind. I'm like, I love that mindset.
I do too.
Yeah, and that's what I've been using for this. You're like, I want to set up these goals. I want to 1 mile, 2 miles, and 3 miles, and then 5, whatever it gets there, But I had set up earlier this year. I had set up 5K by September. I guess I'm beating that by a couple months, So that was my goal at the beginning of the year. I didn't know how fast I was going to get used to this, and
Are you ahead of schedule or behind?
What's that?
Are you ahead of schedule?
Yes, I'm way ahead of schedule.
Somehow I knew that, Steve. I mean, we're talking about motivation here.
So what are we going to do in September then?
You know what?
10?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Honestly,
I'm the wrong person. I'll just keep.
I'm a man of faith, and I honestly believe that if God puts something in there for me to do that, then yeah, absolutely.
There are no coincidences with God.
Absolutely not. And I believe that by September I will know what that is. Before then.
Well, you know what I love, Wesley, and if you're out there, one of the things that we like to say around here is, muscles matter. And we know that. And a lot of people think, well, yeah, you got big biceps and stuff. And Steve does. But that's not the goal. The goal is everybody's got muscles, And how are you putting them into action? What is the way that you can still become active? It doesn't matter what you do. We've had a lot of people on the show that do different things. But what I love about you, Wesley, is that you had a wake-up call. You said, I need to do stuff. You went into the gym. You liked that. But then you had a desire. I want to run. Ran into some roadblocks, overcome the roadblocks. And now you're like setting those goals out there. And I do believe, like you said, I would love to have been a fly on the wall, Steve, when he talked to the doctor and says, no, you're going to fix this,
I'm happy that, that they did it.
Yeah. Because how many people would get help from that?
Yes, because you set it up for the next and the next and the next.
Yeah. Steve, how many people, and this is the cool thing, how many people that you have helped that have maybe not, they're vanished from your life, but are still out there helping other people continue on.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
It is.
There's no hand ups. There's hand ups, or not handouts, but hand ups.
Yes, absolutely. And Wesley, do you see people that may see you out at the park or something and just say, "Hey, that inspires me"?
Yeah. I actually, yes, I get that constantly. Even when I'm just walking in my everyday life.
Yeah.
I get that a lot, and just people say, "Oh, you're an inspiration," and I don't take that for granted. I because sometimes I have struggled with mental health before. I still, and to say I've overcome that, it's not true. I still struggle some days. Some days are harder than others, but sometimes when somebody does approach me and says those things, it allows me to humble myself and realize, this, it's not a thing of like, oh yeah, I'll motivate people. No, man, it's like people see this and there's a reason why I'm still here. And it humbles me and it allows me to be like, hey, that suck that you're going through, it's worth it. That struggle that you went through, it's worth it. That ache that you're going through, it's worth it.
It re-strengthens you.
Yeah, and it gives me strength again. Exactly, and that's what brings me back. It humbles me and it sets me to my base again. Yes, sir.
I've shared this, and I think I've shared it on the air because two of the people that inspire me the most, of course, is yourself and Mike Green. I had a friend, Doug Moden, who lost his leg to diabetes, and I remember going in and calling Doug and checking on him. And Doug said, "Hey, it'd be nice to see you. I need you, through the faith element of my life." And I go, "No, you don't need me, but you need a friend of mine." I go, "So I'm going to bring somebody to see you." So I called Mike Green. And so Mike said, "Absolutely. Mike, he's just like you." "Yeah, I'm in it." And so we walked into Doug Moden's room where he had just had his leg amputated from the knee down. And he was laying there. And Mike walked in and I said, "Hey, I want to meet my friend Mike Green. Here's Doug Moden." And Doug, said, "Hey, how you doing?" And Mike goes, "So, above the knee or below the knee?" And Doug goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Where'd they take your leg?" And he goes, "Below." He goes, "You know what we call that in the military?" And Doug goes, "No." He goes, "We call that a flesh wound." And my friend Doug Moden will tell you that was the moment that things clicked for him. That, hey, I got somebody that I can identify with. And that's why I told him, you don't need me. You need somebody else that can look at you and say, hey, there is over the hill. There is something that you can, do, and you're more than just where you're at. And Doug told me that to this day, and they've never seen each other ever since. But every time I see Doug, he's like, "Hey, I'm sure that was so big." It was just one visit, one inspirational moment with somebody who had already overcome something. And so that's why I always think about you. When I see Mike, he goes, "How's Doug?" I go, walking around at the dealership, selling cars. But it was inspirational. So Wesley, thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your service to the Lord, because he's out baptizing people every Sunday at church. He's over our baptismal, and he's out there baptizing people, and now he's encouraging people to, hey, when you come, I'd like to bring him back and say, hey, this is.
I definitely want the 5K.
Yeah.
I want the 5K story.
Okay.
I definitely want the 5K story.
Anything, Wesley or Steve? Why don't you finish it up, and then Wesley say something?
I'm just glad to know I didn't miss the rapture, because when I walked up, I saw a pair of legs sitting outside, and I thought I missed it. So I'm just happy to see that I didn't miss the rapture. But I think it's very awesome. The curiosity, there's so many things that I'm curious about. What did you do? How did you go about strengthening your body to actually put the legs on the run? I mean, my wheels are spinning. That's why I'm quiet, because I'm listening, and 2 + 2 equals something, and I don't know what the something is. So tell us a little bit about what you did.
Yeah, so I started going into one of the gyms in shape, and I started actually. My wife is actually. I love my wife. She's so strong, and she's like she has no boundaries with people, and that helps me because I have a lot of boundaries with people. I try to set my distance, and she's like, "Hey, you should come and do this class with me." I'm like, "No, I'm all right." Like women doing. Zumba, I'm okay.
Our legs don't go that way when our hands go that way.
Yeah, exactly. And she's like, "No, this is actually, strengthening." And they have rowing. I'm like, "Oh, rowing." I do sled hockey on the side. That's one of my favorite sports to do. So I go to the ice rink and I practice sled hockey. So like, oh, that'd be great for my sled hockey motion. So let me try rowing. And so I went into that class, and very helpful people, small class setting. And the trainers just started accommodating workouts for me. Like, what do you want to work on? I'm like, well, since we're out here, I told them I want to work on my back. That's my main thing. I want to strengthen my back, my lower back, and I want to get that ready to start running. And they're like, great. So outside of just doing rowing, they were helping me with those exercises, and they had things for me, workout plans every time I came in for me to do.
You're an onion, you know that, right? Every time you say you give me another layer now. Sled hockey. Yeah, there's an onion there. It's just layers. Okay, so sled hockey. If I don't ask you what it is, they're
thinking it.
Yes.
I'm thinking it.
Oh, sled hockey is the fastest growing Paralympic sport in America, and you sit in a sled, and the sled has 2 blades on it, and you have a stick in each hand, and you play hockey the normal way.
On ice.
Yeah, on ice.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's incredible. Team USA. I have a lot of friends there on Team USA, and they won three gold medals in a row against Canada. So yeah.
Yay, USA.
Yeah, that's right. Beating Canada, it's always great.
It is. Hey.
But yeah, it's an amazing sport. Really takes a, you hit people. It's normal.
Ice skating is rough.
Oh,
That's rough. It's completely rough. It ruins you.
Steve,
so I can only imagine, like, yes.
Yeah, I have a broken. Well, it's not broken. 3 weeks ago, I broke my finger when I took a puck to it.
Oh.
So like it's a rough sport.
You guys smash it up on the boards and everything?
Yeah. Everything that stand-up hockey does, sled hockey does.
Yes.
so
Yeah.
you know what's cool is you're there again as you're talking about doing this. The ability, you do have ability to get out there, Wesley. I'm telling you that. Your wife may be more of an extrovert than you are. Because, she's out. There again. I know your wife, and she is. She is very outspoken.
Yes.
And so, but I think that's good for you.
Yes, it is.
She's an amazing woman of God. I mean,
Yes.
there again. I mean, and so as you're out there, you are putting yourself out there. I mean, just to hear you running up the hill and squishing Ryan's toes, and then out in a sled hockey, breaking your finger. I mean, you're still living life.
Yes, sir.
Abundantly.
Your way.
Abundantly.
Your
That's
way.
not that's living life abundantly.
Well, and I think that's something that inspires you, isn't it? It's God's word.
No, yeah, absolutely. God told me that we all had gifts. That we all had gifts that differ from one another, but use them according to His ways. And ever since, I've been trying to find out what my gift was. I don't know what my gift is, but I am trying to live my life according to Him.
Well, and I think you're going to find it because the Bible says your gift will make room for you.
Well, you're an
And
onion.
I see your room being made for you.
Well,
there.
he's got layers. There's like I said, you just opened a whole nother conversation up.
Yeah.
You've got layers. There are layers to you that you don't realize that you are layered.
Yeah.
You have layers.
I thought you were trying to tell me I stink. I showered this morning.
No, your right guard hasn't gone left yet.
If you want to see some fun TikToks, watch his.
Yeah,
This
all right.
this man can move. He can dance. He can. He's
Camera
very,
angles.
He's
Camera
very
angles.
creative. I keep telling you guys, watch his TikToks. You'll be inspired. So,
yeah.
Wesley, thank you for coming in. Steve, it's always a pleasure to do this
sir.
with you. I do that. So, sign us off.
Thank you guys very much. Make sure that you give us a like, share, a follow. Let a friend know about it. Leave a comment, please. And let's talk about this onion. I want to know more about the ice skating. You want to know more about the ice skating. Make sure you leave a comment because he's coming back.
Yes, he is. Thank you again, guys. God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wesley. Thank you,
guys.
Steve.